Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Merry Christmas, everyone, since there will be no live stream tomorrow. So, how is everyone doing? Thank you for tuning in. Anybody who's not, who's a regular, I fully understand. You're better to spend time with family and friends than watching a silly YouTube live stream about technical analysis on the markets. But we have Royal Palms here. Good morning. Good morning, Sterling. Here as usual. Thank you. You are much appreciated, Sterling. Good morning, Patrick. Good morning, Eric. Good morning. Oh, there. Greetings from Seoul. 11:05 p.m. What are you doing up at 11:05 p.m.? Options 22. I appreciate you tuning in, though. Thank you. Happy holidays, Mike's wife, and everyone. Well, thank you very much, and to the doggies, too. So, what else? Yeah, I saw that American Airlines grounded all flights and then canceled it. So, what else do we have? What is this? I did not see this one. Big banks plan to sue Fed over annual stress tests. What, they do not want to do them? Oh boy. All right. Again, thank you so much. We're going to make this quick. I really just wanted to say uh Merry Christmas to everyone. Again, markets close early today. Markets close early, and then tomorrow the futures will not reopen tonight at 6 p.m. They will not, or 5 p.m. They will not, depending on what time zone you're in. Merry Christmas, John. They'll be closed tomorrow, and then they will open at the usual time tomorrow evening. Thank you very much, Options 22. So, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, you can celebrate Festivus tomorrow. Celebrate Festivus. So, Festivus for the rest of us. Come on. All right. I did make a mistake yesterday. I thought I saw them scroll by, but I wasn't sure. Durable goods orders were yesterday. They were originally scheduled for today, but they were released yesterday. Sorry about that mistake, but again, nothing there was really going to be market moving. The breadth is absolutely in the toilet, and I'll show you a clear example if you just want to compare it. Hello, Charles. So that's where we sit today. We had the Red Book come out, 5.9, 4.8, so a little bump in Red Book. Red Book's still holding in there. Thank you. Happy holidays to you too, Charles. And this is a channel that you do not be afraid of saying Merry Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. And you know what? If you don't celebrate Christmas, you can still say Merry Christmas to the people who do. We're not going to be one of those channels. And you can always say Happy Holidays. And we'll get to Hanukkah on Thursday when day one starts. So, Richmond, Fed Manufacturing and Services come out, but there's nothing. Again, this should be a quiet day, probably just a day where chips are already up. Let's see about that. Yeah, look at Broadcom up 3.46 again. Broadcom. Let's just all buy Broadcom now. So the mega caps, everything's positive except for Microsoft is slightly down, but Tesla bouncing also. In terms of groups, let's just do another refresh. Comm services, everything. Well, not everything, but you have healthcare, real estate, consumer defensive, and utilities on a slight pullback. But other than that, everything's positive, led by comm services and consumer cyclical. Fed watch just fours is nothing we need to talk about. Fear and greed, still in fear mode, and the breadth here, stock price breadth is absolutely in the toilet. The lowest, it's the lowest of all year. That's how bad the breadth is on the McCullen Volume Summation Index. So, and 52 weeks highs versus lows is approaching the lowest values for the year. By the way, show PE, market almost back above 38. Good morning, Heinrich. All right. So, here, I just want to get to something first with the spiders. By the way, spiders, just keep looking at your harmonics. Key today on the grind up is this 5. We're above the 50% harmonic, 594.99, and then 598 and 51. But in here, still a potential rollover zone, but I'm watching if it does close above 598.51. We'll really be focused when everything resumes trading on continued bounce to potentially retest the highs before the little Fed sell-off tantrum. But if you compare the spiders to RSP, which is the equal weight ETF, look at this. Look at this. Yeah, we had a slight bounce, but compare your equal weight. which is the equal weight of all the companies versus the cap weight. So compare that chart to this chart. This chart doesn't look nearly as bad as look at your equal weight. You don't have broad participation in this bounce. And if you do the Qs, here are the Qs. We'll take a quick look at those levels. Again, 524 roughly. We're trading above that, so that becomes support. And if we roll over, it would be to yesterday's close of 522.87. But the key is 527.95. Now, remember, the Qs only went to neutral mode, not bearish mode on the daily. So, but above 527.95, that continues potentially a rally through the end of the year because it shifts the probabilities. But now compare that to the NDXE, which is equal weight. Compare those. That is ugly. The equal weight, if we come back down here and do the retracements on that, is nowhere near the 62.5. Versus the Qs could be taking that out today. So just wanted to point that out. And you can look at other things that you see the Brett's things as part of the overall snapback rally. Merry Christmas, Daniel. So let's get back to the S&P. So just be cautious because this isn't, again, broad market. This is being led by your Mag 7 stocks and stuff like Avgo. Which, looking at Avgo real quick, might as well just, since I brought that up. Because Avgo, the key is this we're going to gap up above 239.02. It looks like, so that's going to go, and that could then be the magnitude to go at least to full double top territory, if not beyond. Now the price levels for the reverse harmonics, if you are trading Avgo, the minor levels, and these are the very minor levels, are 256.17, 260.46. I'd be watching the really key 263.67. But above, if this does not today, but if this does rally over the next few days above 260.46, that takes the potential double off the table, which is yet to form, by the way. All right, now we will get to the futures. The key closing level on that to tip it into, probably then to wipe out the whole Fed sell-off tantrum day, was 60.65. A close above there today changes it to the harmonics for the magnet price of 61.44. So that's going to be key on any rollover. Very, very key support at 60.30. And then your next, so something weird happened, your next major support level is 59.85. On the NASDAQ, your key closing is 21,893.50 to take it from neutral mode into tipping the probabilities based off the harmonics to higher. That is the key level. Above there, the next magnet price is 22,071. The key support is coming in right around this 21,750. 21,750 to about 21,735. If disaster were to strike for some reason, your next key support base is right around 21,550. The Dow, again, Dow's 30 stocks, but the Dow is looking, if I can get them there, again, it had the one snapback day on OpEx, but yesterday even closed red and is still trading within the OpEx day, and today looks too with the declining rotation zone. And the cycles on the daily are getting back to the top over the next couple of days. So I'll be watching for potential rollover play in the Dow. Dow's the weakest. If you're playing bullish side, I'd be looking at NASDAQ, then the S&P. NASDAQ first, then the S&P. For the bear side, I'm looking at the Dow and the Russell. Russell also still within Friday's OpEx or quad witching day, with the rotation zone coming down, and the Russell, remember, also triggered the double top. VIX, fear dropping rapidly again. This is a complete gambler's market, breaks off the breath. Good morning, Anissa. So, DAX Closing in on that 50 again, the 50 area where we bounced for today. I mean, where we bounced on Friday. Or the DAX is closed today. Sorry, the DAX is closed today, isn't it? I'm trying to remember. The DAX is closed today. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's closed like what we should be. We should be closed for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but we're not. We're not. The DAX is closed, but I'm watching for another retest on Tuesday of the 50 area. Notes, by the way, breaking down again, could be taking the potential little mini double. Remember, just because there's a potential double does not mean it will ever trigger. It's just something, especially from a trailing point of view, to keep in mind. And that is officially off the table now. So no potential double bottom is taken off the table as the notes grind lower and the yields grind higher. We're going to have to take this down to the forward bar pausing harmonics because this was a pausing bar. And now the next major target could be 107.23. If we look at that in terms of yields, the yields also the potential double top. Again, never triggered. We paused at this harmonic level. Now we're blowing through it. So that is off the table. Yields climbing again, 4.6. And remember, we still have the magnet price of 4.7. So that's overall our magnet price. Look, and that could take us to the yield territory from October of 23. I'm wondering if this is going to try to tap out 5 over the next little bit. We're coming into very key resistance, though, over the next potential couple days. This key topping area on a closing basis we're trading right at now. The 10-2s up is still at this, remember, above 20 puts things in from past historical performance, starts putting pressure on the markets, but the markets aren't really feeling it yet. Dollar index. Not much going on in the currencies. I'm still going to be watching for a potential break higher play after the holiday, but we need to follow through with the close still above 108.85. Crude still looks like there's an underlying bid. There's just no good signals. I mean, technically, this, if it closes above this, is a percent B buy. But given holiday conditions and everything else, it would just be for a retest of the highs from December 16th, 15th, 16th area. But it's interesting because we had a little underlying bid and then it broke lower, but we still got the underlying bid. It's like with cycles turning up. So that might be interesting. Keeping an eye on there. Gold is doing nothing. Besides, we still have the little mini trigger double bottom. The yen is doing nothing. I'm still expecting higher price or weaker yen, higher prices than that. Euro, not much to talk about. Again, currencies aren't doing anything really. We had the little 4-hour triggered rotation zone, still not invalidated. Still not invalidated. Would since it hasn't hit the first target yet, still needs a close back below 103.72. Remember, it is a lower probability kind because it is against the daily rotation zone. Already looked at spiders and the Qs. Good old Bitcoin still has a little double bottom. Would be interesting in Bitcoin also if it did close above yesterday's high, because that would be a percent B buy potential front run pattern. That would be interesting, a front run pattern to the potential little double bottom. So for all you crypto traders, that's what we're looking at there. That is about it. Tesla, the key, I mean, Tesla got a little bounce yesterday, but sort of struggling here. So I'm just watching the harmonics. Right now, the next harmonic area is 442 to 444. Then key is 451 in the short term because that's a 50% from this sell-off. Daily cycles at the bottom. If this were to rally big, watch yesterday's high because that would be a percent B buy and a rotation zone buy. We don't need to keep everybody around for much longer. Just a reminder, early market close today. So, take the day off unless you need to manage the position or anything. Don't bother, is my advice. Going into the open, if you're still wanting to day trade, this key support is 60.45. Can we look at FCX for you, Royal Palms? I will look at FCX. So, breaking key support, really solidly breaking key support. And the 12.5 harmonic runs up there, right there. So this is hitting a very key resistance bounce area. Now let's just see overall from the prior major high to prior major low that was broken, we still have key areas of 37, which lines up really nice with this prior support shelf, and 35, which lines up really nicely with this resistance, prior resistance becoming support area. Overall, from the major highs and lows, look where the 87.5 is again. So this is the area I'd be focusing on for some longer term rollover plays. Is coming out oversold after it broke a major support with cycles going up, but I'd be, if it returns in this area, returns in the key area between about 39.50 to 40, I'd be looking for potential rollover plays or at least shorter term topping patterns for another rollover. Because this is not a bullish chart. And this is a bounce only. It's not a longer term bottom yet. So that's your FCX in a nutshell. All right. Again, thank you for tuning in. Everyone have a very Merry Christmas, or at least a peaceful, if you do not celebrate Christmas, a peaceful day off. And I shall see everyone. Micah stock, EBS worth of consideration for long term. EBS. I wish everyone a happy Merry Christmas. Is EBS based off the tech? I'd have to do analysis from a fundamental standpoint, but let's just see based off the technicals. Let me just look at one thing. So this is a company that does not make money. It has revenue, but it has no earnings. So that always makes me cautious going into market conditions. And it's a pharma play. So these are the kind of things that I am very cautious of, and I will not make a recommendation on this because I'd have to look at what's in their pipeline, because that's what the pharmaceuticals, if you're not looking at this, because from pharmaceuticals, I also have to take that in consideration. I mean, you had your massive double top pattern that just traded and kept grinding lower. So from a technical perspective, this isn't following any great technicals right now. If I would take it off my radar screen if it went back below the 200. Would just take it back off my radar screen and let this fade. I mean, this is nothing. I'd find better things to trade unless you have some insight into what they have in their drug pipeline, and it's one of those slot machine play. Thank you, Anissa. Remember, bargains can become bigger bargains unless they're oversold and have a very strong business, especially in the Russell. All right, if you don't have any idea about this sector, I would stay out of biotech unless you really know how to evaluate biotech companies. And this, again, why did it sell from, above 100 back down to at one point below 2? This is a gambler stock. And because they have a revenue stream, but they do not have an earnings stream yet. So I'd find some better things to trade. That would be my advice. All right. With that, again, Merry Christmas. We'll get to everything else, but I will, again, not be here tomorrow, and nor should you. And I'll see everybody back in the chair on Thursday. Remember, also for Thursday, we do still have initial and continuing jobless claims, and the crude numbers, which would normally be released tomorrow, are being released on Thursday. So we still have some initial and continuing jobless claims to wake up to Thursday morning for Boxing Day and the first day of Hanukkah. With that, I will talk to everyone later. Bye for now.